Good day. Welcome to Westchester Talk Radio, westchestertalkradio.com. I'm John Marino, and we are produced by Sharc Creative. We are made possible by Robeson Oil, the house that service built, by Michael Labriola, landscape design and construction of Armonk, and by Hightower Westchester, managing your wealth to a fiduciary standard, and by Jaguar Land Rover of New Rochelle, White Plains, and Mount Kisco. Here on the Sports Report, we are joined by Tom Avezzano. Tom Avezzano is an incoming member selected to the Westchester Sports Hall-of-Fame, class of 2022. He'll be inducted on November 10th at Glen Island Harbor Club in New Rochelle, and this is an event put together every year by the Westchester County Department of Parks, Recreation, and Conservation. After the group of four gets inducted this year, the Hall will have 265 members also to be inducted with Tom. Now, Tom Avezzano from Yonkers, you are the longtime golf pro over at Sprain Lake Golf Course in Yonkers. And the Sprain Lake Golf Course is nicely situated on the Sprain Brook Parkway, between both sides of the parkway, right near Jackson Avenue. It's that kind of cubby hole with the lake right in the middle between the northbound and southbound sides of the Sprain Brook Parkway. Tom Avezzano, you've been at Sprain Lake Golf Course for 65 years. You've been the head pro for 47 years, since 1975. Were you born and raised in Yonkers?
Yes, in Yonkers native. September 18th, 1944.
Uh-huh. What grammar school did you go to?
Sacred Heart, North Yonkers.
Uh-huh. And high school?
Same, Sacred Heart.
Sacred Heart guy, through and through, a Yonkers guy all the way. How did you get into the game of golf?
Started very young, working at the golf course as a caddy, and then working in the shop, and just becoming enthused with the game by just being here.
Uh-huh. When did you know that golf was the game for you?
Probably when I got to around 19, 20 years old.
When you were in high school, did you compete athletically? Any sports?
Yes, they had the golf team. We played there, and that was basically it. I had played some baseball, some high school basketball.
You bring up an interesting point now. You were a baseball player. I know people who haven't played on my softball and baseball teams through the years because they say, well, John, I play golf. If I play with you, you're going to help me mess up my swing. Is that true?
No, it's similar body movement. It's we can't be as lateral, need more rotation. But once the player understands that, then he just adapts to it.
Could it be that the baseball, softball guy just wants to hit too many home runs instead of going with that lateral kind of swing?
Yes, similar. You have to remember, baseball, you're reacting to the ball, where in golf, you really don't. So it's quite different.
Uh-huh. Golf, the ball has to react to the way you hit it.
Exactly. It just gets in the way.
Uh-huh. Now, what does a head golf pro do at a place like Sprain Lake?
Well, the teaching aspect, running the day-to-day operations in the shop as far as tee times, and merchandising. We have quite a stocked merchandising area that my son helps quite a bit with.
Mm-hmm. And your son's name is?
Michael.
Michael Avezzano.
That's correct.
He helped us get set up technically here too, correct?
Yes, he did.
He knows his stuff technically, no doubt about that.
He has to, because I don't. So he has to.
Kind of like me. I need remedial training.
Yes,
still.
right. I need help.
You're doing the Zoom stuff. So, yeah, Tom, out there on the course, you get out there, and I guess part of your role too as a trainer, a golf trainer and instructor, and helping people, you have to kind of be their eyes and ears for everything too, and I guess their shoulder to lean on when their day is not going too well.
It's 100% correct. I have, in my latter part of my career, I spent more time making people learn how to enjoy the game rather than get frustrated with it. So many people get frustrated because they think they can perfect golf, which no one has. So we work a lot on the mental aspect of enjoying the game.
Do too many people think that they should be the next Tiger Woods and they can't figure out what they are?
In the beginning, and I try to make them understand that since the game began, no one perfected it, so don't think you can. And we just we'll just work on enjoying and understanding their swing and being able to self-correct rather than get frustrated. If we take frustration out of golf, it's a lot of fun.
Now, I've never really graduated above miniature golf or going on a golf course just to practice my swing, because I know this, and people told me through the years, don't play with us because you're just like the guy in that Visa commercial from 20 years ago who took everything, took all the clubs and threw them in the lake. I would throw them into Sprain Lake if I were on your course. How do you work with somebody like me to tell me, hey, look, like, you're not Tiger Woods, you're not Jack Nicklaus, and you never will be? Like my father told me in high school basketball when I was a freshman, he said to me, you know, two of my friends grew up to play in the NBA. You won't play in the NBA. And I turned around, he walked away, and I thought about it, and I said, I won't?
Right. Well, that's when we spend time telling people you're not going to hit every shot, but if you cannot self-correct what you're doing, you're just going to get frustrated. So we work very hard at understanding what causes the bad shot so you don't keep doing it. Golf is a swing game. It's not a hit game. So once we work on the mechanics, then people get to understand it, and they really do enjoy it more.
Back in the late 80s, covering a senior event up at Scarborough at the golf course up there, it was Lee Trevino to be exact, as he wanted to be called, who led the way after the next to last round, heading into the Sunday. And in the press conference after the penultimate round wrapped up, Lee Trevino said, we can all get up onto the green. Everybody can. The question is, what do you do when you're up there on the green? That determines who wins and loses. Why do so many people have such a hard time up on the green? Because it all looks so close, and like you should just be able to knock that ball into the cup.
Well, it's strictly mental, and if you've never been in there, you don't know what it feels like, where your arms can't move back, and you say, yeah, you're so used to putting, but when it really means a win or a loss, it changes the whole feeling of what you're doing. So they'll say you have to experience it first, get through it. Next time, be prepared better. And it's so mental. Golf is, you have to really be prepared. And that's why a lot of rookies don't do well. It takes a while. They have to go through the process, learn how to miss, and then you try to do better the next time. That's it.
Learn how to miss. So you have to learn how to fail. And then
you're going to go through that, sure. And there hasn't been anyone that hasn't. So, you have to get through it. And then the next time you've been there before. So the more you put yourself in it, you hear them talk. They just want to put themselves in position. That's all.
And you have to be able to work with that position once you get it.
Exactly. And it's the first few times it just feels so awkward. But then once you've been there a few times, it gets more comfortable.
As a Mets fan, I kind of equate.
There you go.
Yeah, the Mets blowing a 10.5 game lead, and they had the chipping putt to put it away, and they blew the putt.
Exactly.
They had 3 putts on the weekend.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I thought they were set up perfectly going into that Atlanta Braves series, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, we could make that golf correlation right there. So they walked away with at least a double bogey, probably worse when you think about it.
Right, correct.
Yep. Tom Avezzano from Yonkers is the longtime golf pro at Sprain Lake Golf Course, the course nestled in between the north and southbound lanes of the Sprainbrook Parkway, right near Jackson Avenue, that big golf course you see with beautiful waters right between in the middle there. He's been there 65 years, head pro 47 years since 1975. Your work and this helping, of course, lead to your selection to be inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. The work you've done to bring golf to those less privileged, less fortunate, to communities where people generally don't grow up playing golf. How did you get into that? How did you start that? And how has that progressed through the years?
Again, through the years, seeing that it wasn't a game you weren't going to perfect, and the people have a chance to play it. And once you get to enjoy the game, it's so social. I always tell people, get with some friends you enjoy being with, because if you're on a golf course for 4 hours, you may be hitting the ball 1 hour. The rest of it's social. So it's it's social recreation, learn how to enjoy it. And there's so many people have come up and said, thank you, that I've enjoyed the game thanks to what you've expressed to me. So that helped a lot. And that's the reward when people come up and say, thanks to you, I'm enjoying the game. So that's perfect.
Decades of lessons, clinics, junior golf, camps, tournaments, so much more you've done added up to your legacy at Sprain Lake and around the county and around this tri-state area here too. As you continue to work with those who want to be introduced and learn, they want to be introduced to and learn the game of golf. What's the most important thing as we move forward now? We see golf changing. We see a new kind of golfer, I think, out there, like a Bryson DeChambeau, for example, who is all power, not much finesse. To the young people coming into the game today, what's the first thing you tell them when they step out?
When I explain to them, we have one goal here. I need to get you to enjoy golf. And rather than looking to perfect golf, which we really can't, let's learn how to enjoy it. And you'll see very few people practice a lot. So they'll come for a lesson expecting that there's a miracle or there's some secret. And as far as practicing, to get really good at golf, you have to learn to repeat your motions. So without practice, that won't happen.
Mm-hmm. I remember.
It's where do you want to go with this? You want it to be just social recreation, or do you want to become a real good player? So the goal is for you to enjoy it. That's the most important thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to go back 50 years to the Split Rock course at Pelham Bay Park in the Bronx.
Right.
And I was on the driving range on a Friday night, and my drive was going here, there, and everywhere, but not where it's supposed to go. And a kind gentleman watched me and walked over and said, "Hey, kid," I was 16, I think, at the time. He said, "Watch this." So he hit a few. I said, "I'd like to hit it like that." He said, "Okay, here's what we're going to do." And he made it so much more enjoyable because he straightened my swing out right there. And he said, "See," he said, "you don't have to swing for the fences. Swing for
100%.
Singles.
There you
hit
go.
the gaps,
right.
And you'll hit the ball a lot better like you're doing right now." He said, "Feels a lot better, right? Looks a lot better." And I said, "No doubt about that." Here we are in the autumn, and you have two signature events that take place every year, tournaments that you've put together, the Halloween Scramble and the Turkey Scramble. How can we get involved with both scrambles?
Well, we put out applications the beginning of September for the Halloween Scramble, which is the most popular because we decorate the entire golf course and put skeletons and tractors and boats and everything out there. And it actually filled up in 2 weeks. So this year, we're including it in 2 days, Thursday and Friday.
What are the dates this year?
The 27th and 28th.
Of October.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
And it's become so popular already. We have almost 50 foursomes signed up, and we'll probably get some more. So we had to make it a 2-day event. So it's 2 separate tournaments, and people enjoy it because it's just illegal golf. You never put on the green with pumpkins in front of you and haystacks. It's all, we decorate the entire course, and it's become very popular. That's why we had to do it as a 2-day event.
I guess with the decorations you put out there, it could be distracting to some golfers, right? And that's part of the game too. You got to work with the elements around you. Could be rain, could be snow, or it could be, I don't know, maybe a ghost jumping in your face, popping out of a hole somewhere, right?
Yeah, that's the fun part of it. When they come in, I want to hear who hit the boat and who hit it in the skeleton's mouth. And that's, I explained to them before they go out, it's a completely illegal golf event. Just go out and enjoy. There's not supposed to be obstructions on the greens. And, it's something that, in fact, the next time you're going down the Sprain Parkway, you'll see all the ghosts hanging in the trees. And it's all part of the decorations.
Yeah, I know that look through the decades. And then it's turkey scramble time for Thanksgiving. What are the dates for that? And what happens during that event?
Well, that's usually the day after Thanksgiving. Everyone's off. And I appreciate that as a family event. I see the grandfathers, fathers, and sons all playing together, because everyone's off that day. And we've had that event where it's been 20 degrees and freezing, but we do get the families coming out, and it's enjoyable to watch that. There's not as much with the decorating. It's just it's a family day.
Are you still accepting applications for both for this?
Yes. Since we made it, it was filled up on the one day, but we extended it to 2 days. So we have some spots open.
And how can we get an application?
Just call the shop, Sprain Lake Golf Shop, and we'll tell you when to come up and get them.
Do you have a number? 914?
914-231-3481.
Is golf a microcosm of life that you have to be able to succeed? Deal with things that don't go your way, and sometimes they greatly don't go your way, and you got to figure it out somehow.
Every round of golf doesn't go your way. So, yes, that's part of the self-correcting. I laugh at people. They make a terrible swing, and oh my, it's awful. And they go to make the same swing, and the same thing happens. I say, well, if you can't self-correct, you're just going to get frustrated doing the same thing over and over. So it is. It doesn't go your way every time.
How do you deal with the guy who steps on the course and he's supposed to work with you? You're supposed to work with him. You're there to help him and you're trying to show him what to do. And he says, don't worry, I got it. I know. And then it doesn't work out. How do you deal with somebody like that?
Again, I simply explain or ask him, what did you do there? Even when people tell me that I'm playing well, I say, what are you doing? I'm playing well. No, there's something you're doing that's making you play well. If you don't understand it, you'll never be able to self-correct it when you're not doing it. So,
and you won't be able to do it again next time, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's the greatest statement I can make to people. Don't think you're going to perfect it because no one has. So they don't think you can. And let's go ahead and try to figure it out. And again, the goal is to enjoy your recreation. That's the most important.
Tom Avezzano will be inducted into the Westchester Sports Hall-of-Fame. Brought to us by the Westchester County Department of Parks, Recreation, and Conservation every autumn. The event this year is November 10th, Glen Island Harbor Club in New Rochelle, along with Frank Becerra, Rick Beardsley, and Ron Berlingo, class of 4 this year, after which the Hall of Fame, after the inductions, will consist of 265 members. Tom Avezzano, congratulations to you. We thank you for all you've done at Sprain Lake through the decades, all you do for Yonkers, Westchester, and everybody around this tri-state area who loves the game of golf or would like to learn about the game of golf through somebody like you, Tom Avezzano. Thanks again and congrats.
Thank you.
Tom Avezzano here on the Sports Report. I'm John Marino. This is Westchester Talk Radio, westchestertalkradio.com. Produced by Sharc Creative, made possible by Robeson Oil, the house that service built. By Michael Labriola, landscape design and construction of Armonk. Also by Hightower Westchester, managing your wealth to a fiduciary standard. And by Jaguar Land Rover of New Rochelle, White Plains, and Mount Kisco. Catch all of our Westchester, Rockland, Putnam, Dutchess, Orange, and Fairfield County Talk Radio programming on our YouTube channel, Sharc Creative YouTube. Download our app. Take it with you 24/7, 365. Anywhere and everywhere you go. It's called Westchester Talk. And yes, we are now on Apple Podcasts, too.